What makes a man who once terrorized America's banks become a national legend? John Dillinger, infamous bank robber, prison escape artist, and for some, a folk hero. But why, after all these years, do we still find his story so captivating? Stay with us, because by the end of this video you'll understand why America can't let go of John Dillinger. To understand Dillinger's rise to infamy, we need to go back to the 1930s. The Great Depression, a time when banks were foreclosing homes and average Americans were struggling to survive. In this era of despair, John Dillinger became a symbol of rebellion. He wasn't just robbing banks. In the eyes of many, he was taking back what people had lost. And that made him dangerous, but also admired. Dillinger wasn't your average criminal. With charm and a cunning mind, he turned his crime spree into a spectacle. Headlines followed his every move, and Hollywood would soon be inspired by his story. But his tale wasn't just about theft. It was about outsmarting the law, escaping from prisons, and becoming a master of disguise. Imagine this. It's a quiet day at the bank. Suddenly, Dillinger and his gang burst through the doors. With precision and military-like planning, they're in and out within minutes. No lives lost, no chaos, just a perfectly executed heist. It was these clean robberies that made people question, was Dillinger really a villain or just a man playing the system that had failed millions? John Dillinger was seen as a Robin Hood figure, even though he kept the money for himself. He represented the rebellion against corrupt institutions during a time when trust in the government and banks was at an all-time low. But Dillinger's story wasn't just about robbing banks, it was about beating the system. Twice, he escaped from prison. In one of the most famous escapes, he used a wooden gun he had carved himself. Outwitting the authorities became his signature move, and with every escape, his legend only grew. The FBI had never seen anything like him. He was public enemy number one. But despite the full force of the law hunting him down, Dillinger remained elusive. He became the face of an era when gangsters ruled the headlines and the public secretly rooted for them. Dillinger was more than just a criminal, he was an American icon. Even today, his story fascinates historians, filmmakers, and crime enthusiasts alike. His life is a reminder of a turbulent time in American history, when the line between hero and villain was blurred by desperation. But every legend must come to an end. On July 22, 1934, John Dillinger walked out of the Biograph Theater in Chicago, unaware that federal agents were waiting for him. In a dramatic shootout, Dillinger's life came to a violent conclusion. Or did it? Dramatic pause, suspenseful music. Rumors swirled for decades. Was the man shot outside the theater really Dillinger? Some claimed it was a look-alike, a body double. The mystery of his death only fueled the fascination with his life. Even today, Dillinger's story is retold in books, films, and even museums. But why do we remain so captivated by this outlaw? Perhaps it's because his story isn't just about crime. It's about survival, rebellion, and living on the edge in a time when many had nothing left to lose. John Dillinger wasn't just a bank robber, he was a symbol of defiance. He reminds us of a time when the American dream felt like it was slipping away, and one man, against all odds, dared to fight back. Do you think Dillinger was a hero or a villain? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more stories about legendary figures from history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay curious. He was a prince who had it all: wealth, power, a beautiful family. Yet one fateful night, he left it all behind. Why? What drove Siddhartha Gautama to abandon his family, his kingdom, and his comforts? The truth is far more controversial than you might think. Before becoming the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama was a prince born into the Shakya royal family in ancient Nepal. His father, King Suddhodana, shielded him from the harsh realities of life, ensuring that he never experienced suffering or sorrow. He was married to a beautiful princess, Yasodhara, and they had a son, Rahula. His life seemed perfect, but appearances can be deceiving. Siddhartha's view of the world changed forever when he encountered four sights that would alter the course of his life: a sick man, an old man, a corpse, and a wandering monk. These sights unveiled the inescapable truths of life: sickness, aging, death, and the pursuit of enlightenment. For the first time, Siddhartha realized that wealth and power couldn't protect him from these inevitable realities. But what would make a man leave his family in the middle of the night? Some see this as an act of profound selfishness, a father abandoning his responsibilities. Others argue it was a selfless act of compassion. Siddhartha believed that by finding the truth of human suffering, he could help not just his family, but all of humanity. His love for them, some suggest, was so deep that he chose the path of sacrifice, to seek a solution to the suffering they would eventually face. Siddhartha spent years seeking the truth, practicing extreme forms of self-denial, but it wasn't until he meditated under the Bodhi tree that he reached enlightenment. This was the turning point. He became the Buddha, the awakened one, who understood the root of suffering and how to overcome it. With this newfound wisdom, he returned to the world not as a prince, not as a father, but as a teacher who would guide millions towards spiritual liberation. The impact of his choice, was it worth it? Critics have long debated this question. Some argue that abandoning his wife and child caused immense emotional pain, and his choice left a void that could never be filled. But others see his sacrifice as a necessary step toward understanding suffering on a universal scale. His teachings on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path have helped millions confront suffering and find peace. The ripple effect of his decision reached far beyond his family. It touched the hearts and minds of people for over 2 millennia. So what does Buddha's controversial choice teach us today? Sometimes the pursuit of a higher purpose may lead us to make difficult decisions that seem cold, heartless, or even cruel. But in the end, Buddha's journey was about one thing: alleviating the suffering of all beings. By walking away, he found a way to help the world heal. Why did Buddha abandon his family? The answer is as complex as it is controversial. But one thing is certain: his sacrifice wasn't just for himself, but for humanity. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of great spiritual figures. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Was Buddha's decision justified? And how do you see his sacrifice in today's world? Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the path to enlightenment is paved with difficult choices.
Today we're diving into the enigmatic life of one of history's most famous figures, Cleopatra. Was she a powerful queen or a cunning tyrant? Stick around as we unravel the hidden truths about her reign, her relationships, and the legacy she left behind. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, ruled during a tumultuous time. Born into a family that ruled Egypt for generations, she ascended to the throne in 51 BC. But who was this woman who captivated Roman leaders and held the fate of an empire in her hands? Was she simply a product of her time, or did she manipulate the political landscape to her advantage? Let's start with her relationships. Cleopatra is often portrayed as a seductress, famously linked to Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. But what's the truth behind these alliances? With Caesar, when Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt, Cleopatra saw an opportunity. Their relationship wasn't just romantic, it was political. Cleopatra needed Caesar's support to regain her throne after a civil war, and Caesar saw Egypt's riches as essential for his campaigns in Rome. With Antony, after Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra aligned herself with Mark Antony, further entrenching her role in the power struggles of Rome. Their relationship resulted in a military alliance that threatened Rome's stability, leading to their eventual downfall. But was Cleopatra merely a player in this high-stakes game, or was she the architect of her own destiny? Now let's address the accusations of tyranny. Cleopatra was a shrewd ruler who took drastic measures to secure her throne and protect her people. Some historians argue that her actions, like aligning with Rome, were treacherous. But consider this: during her reign, Egypt flourished economically and culturally. Cleopatra was known for her intelligence and diplomacy. She spoke multiple languages and was deeply involved in politics. Was her determination to maintain power an act of tyranny, or was it a necessity in a world where women were often marginalized? As foreign threats loomed, Cleopatra fought for her kingdom's survival. Her strategies, though controversial, were aimed at protecting her people from the encroaching Roman Empire. Cleopatra's legacy is complex. She has been immortalized in art, literature, and film, often as a femme fatale. But the reality of her life was far more nuanced. She was a ruler who navigated treacherous political waters with incredible skill. Her story has inspired countless interpretations throughout history, showcasing the timeless intrigue of her character. Was she a victim of circumstance or a cunning strategist? Modern historians are re-evaluating Cleopatra's role, emphasizing her agency and intelligence. The debate continues: queen or tyrant? As we explore the life of Cleopatra, we uncover a figure who defied conventions, shaped her own narrative, and left a mark on history that we're still deciphering today. What do you think? Was Cleopatra a queen who ruled with wisdom, or a tyrant who played dangerous games? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Your thoughts could spark a new debate. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating stories from history. Until next time. Visuals, subscribe button, links to other videos, engaging visuals.
Welcome back to Wisdom World. Today, we're diving into the intriguing world of detective work, pitting the legendary Sherlock Holmes against real-life detectives. Who really solved cases better? Buckle up as we explore their methods, famous cases, and the legacies they've left behind. First, let's talk about Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the late 19th century. Holmes is known for his razor-sharp intellect, keen observation skills, and deductive reasoning. His method? A blend of science and intuition. From the infamous Hound of the Baskervilles to the Sign of the Four, Holmes solved cases that seemed impossible, often using elaborate deductions from minute details. But how does this compare to real-life detectives? Now let's shift gears to real-life detectives. Take, for example, the legendary Sherlock Holmes contemporary, August Vollmer, known as the father of modern policing. Vollmer revolutionized criminal investigations with the introduction of scientific methods, including fingerprinting and forensic science. He believed in collecting evidence meticulously, often leading to groundbreaking breakthroughs. Segment 3. Case Studies Comparison. Iconic cases. The Hound of the Baskervilles. So, in this case, Holmes combined local folklore with scientific reasoning. But how would a real-life detective tackle such a case? Relied on logical deductions, real detectives like LAPD's Harry Hansen faced political pressures and media frenzy, showcasing the complexities of actual investigations. Segment 4. Legacies and Impact. So, who did it better? While Holmes remains a fictional character, his methods influenced real-life detectives and even police procedures today. Real-life detectives, on the other hand, operate under constraints that Holmes never faced. Their successes often come with a mix of intuition, forensic science, and teamwork. Conclusion. Ultimately, both Sherlock Holmes and real-life detectives have made indelible marks on the world of crime solving. Each brings unique strengths to the table. So, who do you think solved it better? Comment below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the detective world, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating explorations. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you. Upbeat music fades out. Albert Einstein. The name immediately conjures up the image of a wild-haired genius unraveling the mysteries of the universe. But did you know his work inadvertently led to the creation of one of the most devastating weapons in history? Let's dive into the life of Albert Einstein and his unexpected role in the development of the nuclear bomb. Born in 1879 in Ulm, Germany, Einstein is best remembered for his theory of relativity, encapsulated in the famous equation, E=mc². This equation fundamentally changed our understanding of energy and matter, showing that a small amount of mass could be converted into a vast amount of energy. But how did this theoretical breakthrough lead to the atomic bomb? In the 1930s, the world was on the brink of war. Scientists in Europe were making rapid advances in nuclear physics, and the possibility of creating a bomb based on nuclear fission became a terrifying reality. Einstein, a pacifist by nature, was deeply concerned about the rise of Nazi Germany. In 1939, two Hungarian physicists, Leo Szilard and Eugene Wigner, approached Einstein with alarming news. They believed the Germans were working on a nuclear weapon. Einstein's reputation and influence were needed to alert the United States government. Einstein agreed, and together they penned a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, urging him to start a nuclear program. This letter, often referred to as the Einstein-Szilard letter, was a catalyst for the Manhattan Project, the secret U.S. effort to build the atomic bomb. Einstein himself did not work on the Manhattan Project. In fact, he was denied the necessary security clearance. However, his letter played a crucial role in kickstarting the project, which eventually led to the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. After the war, Einstein was horrified by the destruction and loss of life caused by the atomic bomb. He became an outspoken advocate for nuclear disarmament and used his fame to campaign for peace. He famously said, "I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." Einstein's life is a testament to the profound impact that scientific discoveries can have on the world, for better or for worse. His work laid the foundation for both the wonders of modern physics and the horrors of nuclear warfare. So while Albert Einstein didn't build the bomb, his genius made it possible, and his conscience reminded us of the need for wisdom in wielding such power. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating stories from the past. Until next time, keep questioning and keep learning.
Mother Teresa, a name synonymous with compassion, selflessness, and sainthood. But behind the veil of her saintly image lies a story filled with controversy, criticism, and untold truths. Was she truly a saint? Or is there more to the story? This is the untold story of Mother Teresa, saint or sinner. For decades, Mother Teresa was celebrated worldwide as the Angel of Mercy, dedicating her life to the poorest of the poor in the slums of Calcutta. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979 and canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church in 2016. Her Missionaries of Charity, a global organization, became a beacon of hope for millions. But beneath the surface, questions began to emerge about her methods and motives. Critics argue that Mother Teresa's approach to suffering was more about glorifying pain than alleviating it. Journalist Christopher Hitchens was among her most vocal detractors, accusing her of perpetuating suffering rather than curing it. Christopher Hitchens, clip. She was not a friend of the poor. She was a friend of poverty. She believed it was good for people to be poor and to suffer. Reports surfaced about the conditions in her charity's facilities, overcrowded, underfunded, and lacking basic medical care. Critics claimed that Mother Teresa's focus was on saving souls rather than saving lives. Questions were also raised about the financial management of the vast sums of money donated to her organization. Despite the millions of dollars received, the facilities for the poor remained underfunded, leading many to wonder, where did all the money go? Some claim that the funds were redirected to the Vatican or used for purposes unrelated to charity. The lack of transparency has left a cloud of suspicion over her legacy. Mother Teresa's deep religious beliefs also sparked debate. Her stance on issues like abortion, contraception, and divorce aligned with strict Catholic doctrines, often putting her at odds with modern social values. Her unwavering adherence to Catholic dogma, while admirable to some, left others questioning whether her actions were truly in the best interest of those she served. Despite the controversies, Mother Teresa's legacy endures. For many, she remains a symbol of love and sacrifice, an embodiment of the Christian spirit. But for others, the criticisms are impossible to ignore. Is it possible to reconcile these two sides of her legacy? Can someone be both a saint and a sinner? Or does the truth lie somewhere in between? So, was Mother Teresa a saint or a sinner? Perhaps the answer depends on how we define sainthood. If it's about compassion, sacrifice, and dedication, she undoubtedly fits the mold. But if it's about transparency, accountability, and the well-being of others, the picture becomes more complex. In the end, the story of Mother Teresa is a reminder that even the most revered figures are not without flaws. Her life challenges us to look deeper, ask questions, and seek the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. What do you think? Was Mother Teresa a saint, a sinner, or something in between? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories.